Okay, welcome.
Okay,
Today is
we're
the
on.
In-Business Links Network and Facino Brothers webinar. It's free to those that join us
Okay.
online once a month. We kind of alternate the times from either 12 noon or around 2:15, and today it's 12 noon. Today's topic is going to be 5 online payment systems, apps compared, and also we're going to throw in some information on shopping carts and stores. So a lot of you are joining us either through Meetup or Eventbrite, Start Meeting, of course, and then I've also sent announcements out to Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus, and then of course on normal channels of Design for Communication and Business Links Network and FBI. So welcome all those that are joining us today from all those sources. We have a team effort here. We're the Facino Brothers, and we want to tell you a little bit more about us. We build apps for rock stars. Russell, just a brief overview, is a programmer, MVP. Myself, Gary, I do the graphics and business network, and Richard is the musician and does the content. And we're going to have Richard now give us a little bit more background about what you do for the group and also on your own there. Rich.
Hi, I'm Rich Festino, a guitar teacher at Match Music for 52 years, and I work on the audio and videos and to try to help out with the content so that we make sure we got the right videos and doing that. I'm a composer of many songs, and we have events every year at Matt's Music. I'm the father of the Week of Rock, 9 years now, and that's about it, man. And my most famous student is Anita Franco.
Oh, is that?
And there she is, and I'm with her backstage in Florida, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right here in Florida. We met her for. Yeah, you've had some famous people that you've taught there. Anna the Franco, James. How do you say that? Porkowski.
Porkowski. Yeah, he's professor of classical music. Mary Ellis Demler. Yeah.
Very nice.
So I've had some people.
And it looks like you've raised some money too for Haiti as well down in your career. So that's fabulous.
Save Haiti, right?
And we're going to go to myself here. I'm the graphic designer first of the group. I do the icons, the titles, and the look and feel of the group of the apps that we build, as also do website specialization, search engine optimization. Of course, we do this monthly seminar that we put together. In the community, I'm involved in the chamber as an ambassador. I was actually ambassador of the quarter, and I was nominated for the Good Burr Award. That's a picture of me holding up the nomination right there. Yeah, and business organizations and Business Links Network and the Bluffs Business Association here in town. And we're going to help you out with Russell's overview. He's going to be joining us in a couple minutes.
Very shortly.
Lawyer. Yeah, he worked for Microsoft for a number of years, both in Boston and Florida. And he's a Windows influencer. He's also one of their MVPs, which is a very high ranking in the group. And he's published several Windows apps and phone apps. Got a Lifetime Achievement Award. His community involvement, he's a mobile app developer, and he kind of runs a group out here too that meets once a month as well. So he'll be joining us shortly. And when he does, we'll let him talk a little bit more about our apps development, which is on this slide. We got Russell, I believe, joining us now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Yeah, we are live, Russell, and in recording mode at this point, and we're at the point of the presentation where we want to have you talk a little bit about our apps development. So I got this slide up. Can you speak on that?
No, I got audio only. What's the slide saying?
Okay, the slide is our Jethro Tull slide with everything in the stores and our developing apps, Garcia Tribute, and so forth. You want to talk a little bit more about what we got going on right now, as well as how we're going to update the Tull app?
Yeah, sure. We got, as far as updates go on our plate, we're going to do the Windows 10 version of that very soon. Right now we got Windows 8.
Wow.
8.1 in the store. And then we'll do some minor upgrades as well to the Android and iOS versions. And adding in a few more monetization pieces, and that's where a lot of the topics that we have at hand here today might come in handy in terms of how we do that. So I'm looking forward to more information from you, Gary, on all this great options for doing payments. And also, I'd just like to mention I'm a Microsoft MVP on the Windows platform, and anybody's got some opportunities for me in that area, please let me know.
That's great.
That's Casino Brothers, okay?
Great. And if you could turn your mic up a little bit louder, it's low at my end. I don't know about Richard. Can you hear Russ okay?
Yes, fine.
Okay, all right. My end it's kind of low. Okay, so now
I'm going to go on mute so you don't hear the noise road, so I'll chime in whenever you ask. So.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
And we're going to skip through this slide. We normally do introductions to people that have joined us, and as they join us, we'll have them introduce themselves and say what's new. We give everybody the opportunity to have their own little soapbox and tell us about their experiences, especially relating to the topic. And that brings us to the topic here. The online payment systems, shopping carts, and stores. What are the challenges? What are the pros and cons? And we're going to get right into that right now in terms of this is what we're going to look at. The popular solutions are out there are PayPal, Square, Intuit, Amazon Payments, and Apple Pay. And I might just say that these are just 5 of the solutions, and they're just the tip of the iceberg. There are literally hundreds of solutions out there, and for based on our timing and so for this presentation and overview, we have just selected the most popular ones and the ones that keep popping up from time to time on the search engines in terms of your choices.
Okay.
But don't feel that that these are the only solutions. There are many more, and especially when it comes to the shopping carts and online stores. All right, but we're going to take a stab at these and give you some comparisons. All right. What do they all have in common? We're going to jump right into that. Do the pros first right here. The pros, the good things that they have as a collective group are no merchant account required. Some time back, even today, if you had a charge card, you had to get a swipe machine, and had to have a paper processing thing, and you physically swipe the charge card and get the braille number on there, and then eventually call in the phone number and so forth. It was a real manual process, and also was a very expensive process, especially if you wanted to sell something in like a tag sale or flea market or anything of that nature. So now with these solutions, there's little or no e-commerce experience. You have no coding from our end in terms of putting it into the website or the app. And the buyers that are using these things, they trust the brands because they're the well-known, national, worldwide known brands. And they're also now commonly used in a very short time over the last 5 years. They're widely used all over the world by consumers, and they're easy to integrate into the app and website. Those are the key pros. Now, what's the disadvantages of them? A few here. They're chunky. They take up a lot of real estate, large white areas around each of the areas that are on the website. They're plain looking. There's little call to action. They had limited customization on your website as well. For example, if you have your own colors and so forth that you want to maintain, they only come in the colors that they present to you.
That's it.
Higher transaction fees are than the traditional method because you're dealing with a small volume, a very, very low volume, whereas the merchant accounts are really for big stores, larger accounts, so that they can keep the cost down. But they didn't have a solution for the small guy, the small business, and this is a solution for the small guy, but your fees are a little bit higher. Don't yet work with the chip technology, but I'm certain that will be commonplace probably within 6 months. I would think you're just starting to see that chip technology show up at CVS, Walgreens, and so forth. And by the time Christmas rolls around, you probably will have compatibility. And they're overly marketed. You see it all the time on television, on the internet. The sidebars of Google. It's kind of in-your-face marketing. So it's kind of, in some cases, it's a little bit annoying that they want you to join PayPal or Square or some of the others. All right. The features, we're just going to do kind of an overview of the features here, list one or two of the main features of each and how they're different. PayPal is easy and it has the swipe technology, meaning it's compatible with the iPhone or your smartphone or the tablets that have an audio out jack. And with it uses the jack, you stick in a little device that has a slot in it, and you're able to swipe a credit card. Square was one of the leaders in doing that, and in fact, they now have the chip capability. In fact, I just got that in the mail, so they're one of the 5 here.
Wow.
That's a leader in the chip thing. So, and the chip works with you don't have to physically contact the card to your device. You just hover the card over a reader, and it reads it through the air, almost like Wi-Fi. So they do have the chip technology available at this point, where the others don't. And they're also very good on analytics. And they have the electronic signature. You could have your customers sign right on the iPad, for example, or on the Surface with their finger signature. All right. Intuit has a pay-as-you-go plan where it costs you nothing. There are some of the others also have a similar product, but this is one that they feature as their strong point. Amazon Payments is out there because of their Amazon store. So if you're already a member of their store, Amazon Payments is a way of making it easy for you to do all your transactions that way as well. So you not only have your online store, but you could have a physical store in a tag sale or whatever. And then the big boy in the block here, actually going for the mass market and not necessarily the small business, but the large business, is Apple Pay, where they their feature is they encrypt everything. It's all private. Where the others above, they use encryption for your credit card information, but it gets unencrypted at the other end. So you're actually sending them your card number through the wire, encrypted, and then it gets unencrypted at the source of payment, where it gets processed. Whereas Apple does not take any of your information. Your credit card information stays in your phone, does not get transmitted, and at the other end only uncrypts the private number, a new number that they gave you, a new assigned number. So every transaction has a new account number, and that's how they're saying that they're different than anybody else. And also, it's also contactless. You don't need an audio plug. You just hover your phone over the device in the store. In Apple's case and Amazon's case, you use the thumb touch recognition, and then it makes the payment. So that's how the features of these 5 systems. What does it cost? Well, we put together a little cost comparison chart here. The Fustino Brothers, we use PayPal on our donations page on the website. And we have a standard account, which costs nothing per month. They also have a more advanced with more features for $5 a month, and then a pro account with $30 a month. And each of these come with more analytics, more targeting, more email, more tools that you could use as your business grows. And I have the resource page at the end of this presentation so that you could drill down and get more of the detail which each of these plans provide. All the plans charge you 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. but none of this is charged to the buyers. It's the person that has the account, the customer that has the account gets charged the transaction fee. Square was the leader in this, also the 2.9% and 30 cents per transaction. And then if you do it manually, if you enter the card number, they bump it up to 3.5 per transaction at 15 cents manually. And that's, so if you don't use their swiping machine, you could enter it manually, but it raises the price, all right, of the magnetic strip. Intuit, as I mentioned, has several plans, and they have way at the bottom is the pay-as-you-go, 0 monthly fee, but they also have the monthly plan of $20 a month, $19.95, and you can see the difference in terms of the charges. If you have the swipe rate, for example, is with the monthly plan is only 1.6, and then as you go plan, it jumps up to 4.6, and then of course everything gets charged to 25 cents monthly fee. So these are some of the comparisons that you have to look at. And then Amazon does away with most of the fees and does in terms of volume and cost of your item. If it's less than $9.99, they're going to charge 5% plus 5 cents per transaction. If your item is over $10, it's going to be 2.9 for 30 cents transaction. And it also caters to their Prime account, which makes it seamless when they're making the thing. And then the merchant's account that Apple Pay does, if what they call the card present, CP, and this is the traditional method of a merchant account with the card present at the retailer's outlet store, where they actually take your credit card and they run it through the machine. They get charged 0.5% for each transaction. With the Apple Pay, it's called the CNP, not present rate. The card not present, CNP, card not present. It drops it down to 2% per transaction. So the merchant is actually saving 0.3%. So over time, if you have a lot of transactions, that's big money, big savings. And you can see why each merchant is wanting to get that into their store. All right, but it's for the big players. All right. Well, you mentioned that we're going to get into the shopping carts a little bit. We have 3 solutions here. The most popular and the oldest one is actually the one called shopping cart, and so they actually coined the name of this type of technology. It's $10 a month. They have email marketing communications available with that $10 a month. Weebly is the next player. They bump it up to $25 a month, and they have an integrated shopping cart and secure checkout as well as a hosting service included, so you can get a free website with that $25 per month. So they include a website, which is more than the shopping cart. And then Shopify, which has also been a player for a long time as well, they're $29 a month. They're the most expensive, but they have no restrictions on product or sales. It's basically unlimited and worldwide. Weebly looks like they have 35 countries. At the time of this presentation, I wasn't able to research how many countries the other 2 are in, but I imagine since they've been around the block and out there for many years, that they have integrated a lot of international communities at this point. Any questions so far with any of this?
No, so far it sounds good.
All right, so we're going to go into now the online stores. There's 3 that I've hand-picked, and actually for handmade goods, basically. They're selling handmade goods like jewelry, for example. Etsy, of course, is the leader in handmade good items. If you made something unique and you want to sell it, generally you go on Etsy. Facebook joined about a year ago with what they call social stores online, and then just recently the Handmade at Amazon has been developed. That's separate from their other Amazon store, where generally the Amazon store, like eBay, you could sell anything, silverware, shoes or dresses, or things that have been manufactured. But the handmade store is just that, things that have been handcrafted, handmade, and unique. Okay. So I did a little comparison shop chart here, and the top graph, and I'm going to use my pointer here, shows you what each of these organizations charge you. ESSI, the leader, charges you 20 cents per item plus a 3.5% fee transaction, plus at the time of checkout another 25 cents per item, and then another 3.5% at payment processing. And they use their own payment system, goes directly to them, and they have very good analytics and very good reporting. I heard this from a good source. My wife says she gets a lot of email and communications from them whenever there's a transaction. She appreciates the feedback that she gets from ESSI in her jewelry shop that she has. Pearls by Pat Jewelry, by the way. All right, and then the newcomer, Facebook, only about less than a year old or so, said they're going to charge a monthly fee of $14.95, $15 a month, but they're not going to have an item fee. But they use third-party payment processing. In this case, they use PayPal, and it's 30 cents per item, and also a 2.9% processing fee as well. So you got some cost there. Now, if you go over to the new kid on the block, Handmade by Amazon, they want a lot. They want $40 per month, 12% on every item sold, a flat fee, no matter what it is, 12%, and then they're not going to charge for processing because they own the bank. They own their own processing equipment. They've done it for years, processing orders, so they don't need to hire a third party to do that. So what does this mean? So what I've done is, at the chart below, I've taken one example for one day of an item that could have a value of $100. So for one item, one day sale, $100, ESSI would charge you 20 cents for that one item, $3.50 for the item price, 25 cents for the payment processing, $3.50 for the payment processing. So total your approximate cost on that $100 item is $7.45. So you get back the difference of that. All right. And Facebook seems to be the best bargain out there. Is that even with the annual fee, per item per day, in this case, we're only selling one item on one day. Of course, you could sell more items per day, and then this would break down even more. But if we just take the same scenario, keep them all the same across the board here, it's going to cost you 48 cents. There's no item fee. They use PayPal, 30 cents per processing, and then $2.95 also for payment processing of that percentage. So their approximate Facebook cost out of that $100 is only $3.68. Whereas Handmade by Amazon, even though they're banking on their larger audience, they're much bigger than Facebook or ESSI in terms of the number of clients that are out there. The number of customers that they serve worldwide is tremendous. So they could. That's why they're charging that hefty fee. So you got a much bigger audience than the other two in terms of item sales. So and so they're charging the fee for it. $35 per item for that one day, one item. A $12 fee for anything. If you sold a cufflink or an automobile, it would be $12, and then no processing fee because they handle it all internally. And so that item for $100 is $13.32. Is that clear? Any comments or questions on that?
No, that sounds good.
Okay, Russ, you out there? There you go. You're back there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm out here. No problem here. Good job.
No problem. Good demonstration. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is to show you one instance of how we integrate this into the website. So let me get out of this and bring up what I thought is I just bring up the In Business Links website, because I do have the account open. So if you go to the In Business Links website, I'm actually in the editor mode. On the page where you buy the business card ad, right here is the PayPal charging, add to cart and so forth. So when you click on that here, let me get, it's not responding. There we go. Edit code. You get the code. This code comes from PayPal, and I'll show you how that's set up. So it's got all the classes. It's got the currency code for USA. It has the URL where it gets paid to, and so forth. And it also has the choices. So that's how you integrate it. But you see, as I was talking about, there's a lot of space around it, so you have to be careful how you integrate it into your website or app, because it takes up a lot of real estate. Okay. Now, how that looks in terms of right here, that same button, when you're in your PayPal account, where the button comes from, right here. This is how you set it up. So it's very user friendly. I've got one charge for a one-sided business card. If you give me a front and back business card to display, is $25. If you got a three-sided card or a four-sided card, those are the cards that open up and you got like insides. So you can set up all those. You got your advertising you could do, and website creation, all these items. And then over here in the actions, you could view the code. Oh, sorry, your PayPal session is timed out, so I got to re-log in.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna log back in. And where I found that is in business setup, and you go to right over. You don't start a new button. These are all the items you could do with PayPal. You go over to your saved buttons right here, and then you click on that view code, and I'll show you the code, and that's it. So what they tell you, they give you specific instructions on how to use it. So you just take this code, copy and paste it, and they actually show you what it looks like next to it. So, and the actual drop downs, they work next to it, so you see what you're doing. So if you don't like what you see there, you can go back and change the criteria. And that's how it works. So then you just select a code and copy it. And what I do is I paste it into like a notebook software, so I have it. And then you would go back to your website and paste it into this space right here. If I get that to function again. There it is, right there. You paste it right into there, and that's how it displays. And it's all linked to your personal account. And if I go back to my my account summary over here, it tells me. Well, any questions on that little demonstration?
No, so far.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
so let's go back to the PowerPoint. And now we're going to do a little review here, a little summary of what we talked about here. Square is the highlighted one of the app solutions. I feel that they're the easiest to use in terms of a device that you connect to your phone. That will change now with the chips, and especially with phones coming out without an audio jack. There's rumors that the next iPhone 7 will not have an audio jack, so they're going to have to change the technology there a little bit. Your shopping carts, we use Weebly from practical experience. We use the 0 monthly charge, so that works for us especially. And then the stores, looks like the best bargain in the store right now, that the ones that we've analyzed, is the Facebook social store. It looks like it's half as much as Essie and well below handmade by Amazon. All right, any questions with the kind of the summary there, or any information you want to add to that? No. Okay, and then here's the resources that you can go out and get more information on these. Our next meetup is May 9th, so put that into the calendar. And any topics that come up right now that we want to discuss a month from now?
No.
All right,
We'll have to come up with a...
We'll do a survey a couple of weeks before and get that out to everybody. All right, so I think if there's no questions, I think this is a wrap. We could probably stop the recording. Of course, there's our slide and how to contact us here at Faustino Brothers and Business Links Network. And these are all in the slide deck. And these slide decks, by the way, are made available. I'll just show you where they're made available before we stop the recording. Right here, we put them all up online in business SEO under our tips blog right here, and the latest one that's up there is messaging services, and then we did one with video apps for marketing and development. We compared Snapchat and Periscope. These are all there. Internet branding, they're all there free available, and a majority of them do have the live video as well, and the rest just have the PowerPoint. So if we recorded it, they're there as well, and you just click on it and go. So that's where you could find these every month if you have an occasion to miss one. And so I'm going to stop the recording at this point.